Move it. Get down. Get up here. Over here. Okay, so I had this experience, let's see, was it this morning or yesterday morning? Yesterday morning, well, I had another one because, well, I had a lot of anxiety because my turtle kind of got lost in the house, and I was just like really freaked out because I looked back behind I looked everywhere, because I brought him in at 8 o'clock. And I didn't start looking for them in the house till like 10:15. And I found Trixie immediately. Well, Scootie, she, I could not find her. She went back behind the dryer. But I looked back there a million times. So I just kept looking. And so I thought maybe the aliens like abducted her or something. But even if they did that, normally they only abduct for about an hour. At least all of my cats were myself. Except Patty, that one time she went missing for like, what was it, 3.5 hours or 4.5 or something like that. But yeah, that was kind of weird too. But the funny thing was, later I realized Patty was getting up in the bush. So that's why when you looked under the bush, you couldn't see her. But the thing is, she would have never ignored me for 4.5 hours. Like 2 days after that, I went outside, she was up in the bush. I looked under the bush and it looked like she wasn't under there because she was up in the bush. And then, 2 minutes later, I'm like, Patty. And here she comes, just bam, darting out of the bush. So, she would have never ignored me for that length of time. I kept going out there every 15, 20 minutes for 4.5 hours. And she was nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying? She would have never ignored me that long. So that's why I know she was abducted or something. So I was just getting freaked out because I really thought maybe... but I don't know. I don't know if they would really abduct turtles. Who knows? Maybe they abduct about everything. Maybe they abduct gorillas too, Who knows? But, I know they abduct cats. I don't know about dogs. So who knows? They probably abduct everything. So I really thought maybe they abducted her. And maybe they could have. But maybe because, I don't know, if they originally took her from the back behind the dryer, then maybe they put her back. But anyway, I don't know. I don't think they did, but who knows? My spirit guide kept saying that they did, but I don't know. It's not real reliable, trying to talk to spirits and shit. Well, Zon, she's, I don't know, she's just kind of both. She's kind of an alien and a spirit. But, because, well, I looked behind there many times, and then I finally went to bed about 11, but then I kept getting up like every hour, like, oh, let's go check behind the bed, the nook and cranny in the bed, and let's go check behind the dryer again, and it was just bizarre. So basically, she went missing for about 13 hours. But the thing is, behind the dryer, there's just one big metal elbow looking thing, big metal vent, that goes to the outside or whatever. And you can't really tell the distance from the bottom of that to the floor. And I didn't, so maybe, I don't know, I'd have to see. Apparently there was enough room for her. I mean, she's freaking big now. She's 7 inches. She was 5 inches when I got her, and like January, she freaking had a growth spurt of like 2 inches overnight. She had a huge growth spurt overnight, and that was like in January. So she's like 7 inches now. So she's big. And so she went under there. And like I say, apparently there's enough room for her under there. And then she went back to where I couldn't see her. Back against the wall or whatever. Like I say, I still don't know how much room is between the floor and the bottom of that metal hose thing. So she, so apparently she was under there. Well, like I said, I really don't know if she was under there the full 12 hours. But, and when I stuck them inside, I went back outside to play with a couple more cats. And I couldn't remember if I left the laundry door open, but apparently I did. I did leave it open because the cats love to go back and forth and play. So I did leave it open, and that's why Scootie went behind there. Because they like to go sideways and get in the most, teeny tiny nook and cranny. Yeah, so, okay, is that gonna fall over again? Oh, okay, so anyway, I even took like a yardstick, which is like 3 feet or something like that. I took a yardstick and, I think I need to lower this. And I kind of stuck it back there, and I couldn't feel anything, but it's not. It probably would have been better if it was it was something I could bend. So it wasn't real reliable, I guess. I was trying to stick the yardstick to see if I could feel anything, but I guess it wasn't a real good tool to use, and of course I didn't really feel anything. Okay, so then because I couldn't find her, and then I went to bed. And Tora's giving me anxiety real bad too one time because she left. She ran outside at 6 a.m. in the morning, and she didn't come back till exactly 24 hours, till 6 a.m. the next morning. And so I had anxiety all night. And she bred with a cat, but she didn't get knocked up for whatever reason. Maybe she's infertile. I don't know. But, so I went to bed, and then I still got up about every 2 hours, to try to look for her. Okay, so for whatever reason, about 10:15 in the morning, I decided to look again behind the dryer. Well, sure enough, I see, her 2 webbed feet, her back webbed feet, and, a half inch of her leg or whatever. It was clear, clear as a whistle, her big old fat webbed feet sticking out. So apparently, I guess there was enough room for her to kind of get under there, kind of move up against the wall to where you couldn't see her, apparently. So anyway, I had to move the washer back and the dryer back, and hopefully, I don't think I jarred that metal thing or whatever. I'm pretty sure I didn't, because I tried to be careful. And so then I grabbed her. But yeah, so I had anxiety all night. So, but like I said, I already looked back there, a million times, and then for whatever reason, I decided to look back there again at 10:15 in the morning, and boom, that's when, I can't remember how many times I looked back there, probably at least 3. And then the 4th time was probably the 10:15 in the morning, that's when she was, obviously, like maybe waking up and wanted to move around, and so she moved back, and then I saw her big old fat webbed feet. And like I said, at first I thought she was a boy, but I think she is a girl. But it was really weird because first Trixie had a growth spurt, and she was a lot bigger than Scootie for many, many, many months. And like I say, and then overnight, sometime in January, I don't know when it was. Maybe it was even in December. I really don't know. It was either December, January, something like that. I think January. It just seemed like overnight, bam, she was freaking huge. And now she's 7 inches. Okay, so, but then now Trixie is very small, and she hasn't had another growth spurt. And, okay, so that's why I had anxiety real bad, because I didn't know if, it's just bizarre. I didn't know if I was ever going to, see her again or whatever. And, because if she was abducted or whatever, I mean, if they were going to keep her for, 12 hours, that's kind of odd, and, maybe they were never going to bring her back. So I just started having all these weird thoughts. So the aliens can get to you when you're very, very, very mad, or you're sick. If you're sick, they'll get to you because that's a weakness. Or if you got extreme anxiety, like I did. And what else? What's the other thing? But anyway, mainly anger, sickness, anxiety. Not sadness so much, but if it's anxiety, sickness, anger, they will, latch on to you. And they always latch on to me if I'm kind of sickly, like if I got hypoglycemia real bad, or, if I get really, really, really angry, or if I get a lot of anxiety. Okay, now I don't know if this was Joel that gave me this experience or not. I mean, it could have been. Okay, so anyway, because I had anxiety all night, I slept like shit, and I never did really fall into a good sleep, but I fell enough into that perfect state where I got abducted, basically. Okay, so this is what happened, and this was, let's see, I called in yesterday. Yeah, so it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning at, well, I don't know what time it was exactly, probably around 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. And so anyway, so this is what happened. So like I say, I slept like shit all night. And when that happens, I'll even try to take a nap during the day and can't even sleep. But by the time I go back to bed that night, then like last night I slept really good because I went to bed at 10:30. And like, boom, I was ready to get up at like 6 a.m. I didn't get shit last night, though. I didn't get any good experiences. Okay, so this is what happened. So either Joel or another reptilian, like, well, basically, since I was dozing off into sort of a light sleep state, I merged on into their dimension, his dimension or whatever. And so basically I was just freaking not paralyzed. I used to get paralyzed a little bit back when I was like 13 or 14. But this was, the being was totally like just pinning me down to the bed. Like as if he was just like totally on top of me, like a refrigerator and a half wide and a refrigerator and a half tall, and he was just like on top of me, holding me down. It wasn't sleep paralysis. That's what it felt like. And so anyway, I just kept like, I was like, can you please, like I felt, I hate that feeling. That they've done that a lot, many times. Like I say, when I'm in bad anxiety state or whatever. And I was just like, oh, you please let go, I'm claustrophobic, I don't like being pinned down like this, I can't move. And oh my God, he was just sitting there talking to me like many sentences, many paragraphs. And he was just saying stuff like no, I'm not going to. I don't have to, like, you're mine, and just a bunch of crap like that. And I wish I could remember exactly. I mean, but he talked to me for a long time, many sentences. The whole time I was like, can you please let go? Please let go. And but like I say, it was something to that effect. Like he just kept saying, like, no, there's no reason for me to, like, I'm not going to let go, you're mine. There's no reason for me to, let go, I don't have to, I'm not going to. And damn it, I just wish I remember exactly what he was saying. But he was just saying all these long, drawn out things. And basically he was saying that that's why he wasn't going to let go of me or whatever. Because, he didn't have to, and he wasn't going to, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. This is the sentence that I remember. Okay, so after he basically was saying all of that, like, no, I'm not going to let you go, and blah, 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 I was still totally pinned down. Not paralyzed, just pinned down. But when they pin you down, I mean, you can't even, like, hardly, bat an eyelid or whatever. Okay, so, and it was like, he was in my room or whatever, totally in my room, because he okay, this is what he said. He's like, hold on, I'm gonna go get my belt. Okay, no, this is the part, like I have no idea what he was trying to do with the belt. Like, was he gonna spank my ass, or was he gonna, like, tie me up or something? Well, he already had me tied up, basically, because he was pinning me down with his mind or whatever. Okay, so basically, but damn, I don't know why, I just can't remember all of those sentences he just kept saying. But it was a long time, many sentences, he just kept, saying, why he wasn't going to let me go and shit. And, but like I say, the part where he said, I totally remember the part where he said, hold on, I'm going to go get my belt. And so he kind of walked off in the direction, of the other wall, which would be north, in my bedroom. And my head was facing south, because the bed is facing south. And, but I was still pinned to the bed. I mean, not pinned to the bed, I was still, it felt like he, was still on top of me, so to speak, like a big old refrigerator was just like on top of me, pinning me down. Even though he still walked off, he still had me pinned down with energy or whatever. And so he walked off and said, I'm gonna go get my belt. And then like I say, I popped out of the experience. I don't know if he made it end, or if I was just like strong enough and made it end. So like I say, I don't know if he was gonna spank my ass, or like if he was just trying to intimidate me, or I don't know, but I'm so glad I do remember that part, that he actually said, I'm gonna go get my belt. And, but yeah, that's just, I hate being, like, pinned down like that. And like I say, they do that a lot. If they give me experiences like that a lot, if I'm kind of sickly, or if I have bad anxiety. Yeah, so, and like I say, I don't know if it was Joel that gave me this experience. It probably was. And, he didn't, show himself or anything. He didn't try to show himself as anything, as a reptile or any human or anything like that. And a lot of times they won't. Okay, so, and I wasn't really going to talk about that experience because I didn't know I was going to get that experience. I was going to talk about these other two. Well, the first one was the mental retardation, and that was just like the 21st, and then the morning later, I had the one with the gun or whatever. You know, shoot. They're always like trying to shoot at me and shit in these experiences, like with the gun or whatever. Okay, so anyway, so I'm gonna talk about the shorter one first. Okay, so basically, the reptilian put me in a motel. I don't know. I'll call it a motel room. It was a very large motel room. It was like 2 freaking rooms together. It was very, very large, and I was like walking around. I was getting ready to check out, but I still had to do so much stuff. Like I had to like go into the bathroom, clean up, and then gather all my stuff together, you know, take a shower. I had to still do all of these things. So I was walking around. And the motel room was kind of gross and trashed, but I was getting ready to check out. And for whatever reason, the people that I was with, they had already checked out, and I was the last to check out. Okay, well, this family comes barging in, and I'm thinking like what are you doing? I'm not done. See, this is another thing that the aliens like to do. They like to embarrass you and shit. They like to get you in embarrassing moments. Okay, so like so this family came barging in. It was a family of like a man, woman, and like 2 or 3 kids, a male and a female. But anyway, so and they were walking around like trying to check in. That, you know, they were copying all of this from, probably because when, you know, I mean, I've stayed in motel rooms many times. I've cleaned motel rooms and shit, and that's probably what they were. You know, they were just trying to copy all of that. They put me in motel rooms a lot under my experiences. Okay, so anyway, so if it wasn't for this other part, I wouldn't even talk about this experience. Okay, so, and I was just like, you know, okay, I'm not done doing my business. I still have to, like, you know, go wash my hair and do all this, you know, in the bathroom and all that stuff. And then here's this family walking around, putting their luggage everywhere. And I'm thinking, okay, this room isn't ready yet. I haven't moved out yet. I mean, I haven't checked out yet. But I was about to check out. And, you know, like I say, this family comes barging in on me, and I still had to do all my business and stuff. Like, clean up, you know, go into the bathroom and do whatever. And, so then this very strange looking man came just barging in. He had nothing to do with me or the family. He came barging in, and he was very strange looking. Okay, he kind of had medium length brownish hair. And he was just very strange looking. He had big old eyes, like big old brown eyes, as far as I remember. He had glasses on, like I say, but he was strange looking. And so like I say, he just came like bam, barging into the scene, which now I realize that really was just a reptilian that was just being a shapeshifter in you know, the lucid dream that he was creating for me. This time I do believe that he was, you know, the reptilian in my scene, but he was just making himself look like that weird, odd man. And then he had this gun, pretty big gun, you know, like that. And he started shooting at the other family members. He started shooting at them. The reptilian, he didn't show me gore or anything like that. he started shooting at the family members, and then he started shooting at me, like my face, my arms, and everything. And at that time, I was only standing about, let's see, I was pretty close, like 8 feet, 8 feet, yeah, probably about 8 feet, 9 feet maybe. I was pretty damn close when he was shooting at me. Yeah, so he was shooting at me, and the funny thing is, he was trying to copy off he was trying to mock the fact that back when I was like 21, I shot my new gun that I had, like off of the freeway, or the highway or whatever. I shot it in the air, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was shooting it in the air. No, there was another time I can't remember, because I only shot it a handful of times. And one time, I shot it, and it seems like the bullets were coming out very weak. Crap, I don't know, I can't remember. It was just a piece of shit gun. It was a Davidson $100 gun that I bought at the pawn shop back when I was like stupid. And, but one time in real life, when I shot it, it seemed like the bullets were coming out very slowly. Yeah, I guess maybe the spring was messing up or something. Okay, well, anyway, I felt like he was totally trying to mock that. And but the bullets in my scenario were much bigger. They were like this big, 3 inches long, or 3.5 inches long, that he was using in this scenario. And so he was shooting at me with bullets like that. But the bullets were coming out fast, but still kind of like slow. And I kept telling him, I was like, you can't hit me. I said, I'm all ethereal. The bullets are just going to go right through me. And I just kept telling him that, like, you can't kill me, you can't hurt me, because I'm ethereal. I kept telling him I was ethereal. And so that was kind of funny. And guess what? He kept shooting at me, and the bullets weren't even hitting me. So that part, like, I probably wouldn't talk about this experience if it wasn't for that cool part right there. Oh, didn't I put that in here? Yeah, okay. I told him I was ethereal and cannot be killed. Yeah. So I just kept telling him, like, I was ethereal, you can't kill me. And like I say, he was still shooting at me. He shot at me like, I don't know, at least 6, 7 bullets. But like I say, these bullets were like 3.5 inches long. And they seemed to be kind of coming out kind of weak. Strong enough, but kind of weak. And I know that's what he was mocking that time. And like I say, it may have been another time where me and a kid went out and shot it in the woods. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but I know I shot it at least 3 or 4 times. That gun in real life, back when I was like 20, 22, something like that. And one time the bullets were just, coming out kind of weak. And like I said, I can't remember. I guess I took it apart many times, because I used to take M16s apart, take them apart, put them back together, take them apart, put them back together. I used to do that over and over and over and over and over and over again in the Army. So this stupid little gun, I used to take it apart and shit. And it was just a cheap piece of shit. But I do remember when I shot it off at the highway in the air, you could see the fire coming out. So that was kind of cool. But I felt like he was mocking that. But anyway, so so that was the shorter experience. And then the other experience, here, little True, man. True, man. What you doing, bubbies? Man, they just love playing in the garage. Oh my God, they just run back and forth, run back and forth. They love it. They love playing in there and chasing each other back and forth. Okay, so this experience, they stuck me in a mental retardation facility again, but it was also just a regular doctor's office as well. And that's why okay, let me just make sure, hold on. Okay, so anyway, this is my VR, lucid dream, OBE, out-of-body experience by aliens. Well, like I say, that the hotel experience, that was like, C+ experience. This other one, to the mental retardation facility, this was more like B minus. Lucid dream, out of body experience. Okay, so my VR lucid dream OBE by aliens back to mental retardation facility and hotel. Reptilians shot at me again. Like I say, they're always shooting at me under these experiences. Reptilian jumped into the scene and shot at me. I told him I was ethereal and could not be killed. And okay, female psychologist, receptionist told me I owed it. Okay, I just want to make sure I was getting everything. So basically I was placed in this mental retardation facility, but it was also just a regular doctor's office. And so the receptionist was this woman right here, because I did watch that the whole first season of Wentworth on Netflix. I had no desire to watch the second season, because, so much time goes by, and then I just have no desire. If they ever had, like, some more of Breaking Bad, I would maybe watch that, but they already killed off the cool woman, so, or man, whatever she was, in Wentworth, so I just had no desire to watch the second season. And then, like a year goes by, and the second season finally comes out, and then I've lost all interest. So I had no desire to watch that second, or whatever it was, seventh season, whatever it was. But I did watch that whole first season or whatever. And it's amazing what these aliens could do, because when they place the people in the scenario, they're 100% exact personality, exact looks, and the exact whatever you feel for them, or whether you hate them or like them or whatever, the exact same, emotional state or whatever. They duplicate all that under the scenario. Okay, so basically she was a psychologist and receptionist, and she was sitting at the front desk basically. And I was there just to go to a regular doctor's visit, like to get, what do you call that? Like blood tests to check your, vitamins and all that. So that's why I was there. But for some reason, she kept thinking, okay, this is funny part, but she kept thinking that deep down inside, the reason why I was there was to check myself in. And I think the aliens got this idea because, what was the deal? I think they kept talking about this stuff at work or whatever, like, my coworker knows a bunch of retarded kids, and because his wife works at a retarded facility or whatever. And I guess that's where they got this idea. And, but she kept, like I say, I was there, to just go to my regular doctor's visit. But she kept thinking, deep down inside, I was there to check myself in. And, and I was trying to tell her, I'm just here to go to my doctor's visit. And then and then it's kind of like I walked off and sat down, and then she's like, well, you still owe $860. And then she grabbed my credit card. And and I have been using my credit card a lot lately, so it's kind of funny. And even in this scenario, the credit card was red. In real life, it's red. They duplicated that and put it in the scenario. And she's like, you still owe $860 for all of the back times that I had went to the facility and I never paid up. And but I was just thinking, and I was thinking in my head at this point, I don't owe that, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. And this scenario, like, this woman's crazy, I don't owe that. But I was thinking all that in my head. I didn't tell her that verbally. And, okay, as I was sitting there, and like I say, that's the woman right there, exact woman that was the receptionist and the psychologist. As I was sitting there, at one point when I was sitting there, like waiting for the doctor or whatever, the normal doctor to come give me, blood tests or whatever, this is funny. I looked up at the ceiling and it was like fucking 50 stories high. No, actually it was probably like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God. It was at least 30 stories high, the ceiling. And I could even see like the dirt and shit. Some of the ceiling shingles or whatever were kind of dirty. And I was just like, I just kept looking up and I was like, wow, it just went way up there. I mean, it was super high. And I just remember, wow, that's a high ass ceiling, you know? And, basically the aliens got that idea because like I'm always like looking up, you know, at work at the filters. I could see when the filters keep getting dirty, you know, at work. And then like at the bookstore, the filters and the, what are they called? Rails? I forgot what they're called. Grates. The grates are all shitty and nasty looking, and you could tell they totally need to replace them, you know, like at the bookstore. And I'm always looking up at them, like seeing how dirty they are. So the aliens got that idea and put that in this scenario, except they made the ceiling, you know, freaking 30 stories high. And so that part was kind of funny, and it was white. The little squares were white, with a lot of darkness from the dirt and stuff that I could see from way far up there. I could see all that dirt and stuff. But anyway, okay, so then I walked back up to her, and I grabbed the credit card. Because I knew I didn't, you know, owe no $860 and I wasn't paying it. So I grabbed my credit card back. Okay, so basically, we'll pretend like she was north, you know, right there north against the wall of the facility. And then I basically grabbed my credit card and then I went back south because I was, because I was about to like run out the door because I kept feeling like she was, she kept contemplating, I don't know if that's the right word, but she kept, like, as I was sitting there waiting on the doctor, I kept feeling like she kept, or she was trying to, conjure up, with the other psychologists or psychiatrists, whatever they were, to try to get me admitted or whatever. And, basically I sensed that's what she was trying to do. Like she was trying to talk to, talk to these other psychologists, like that woman is really here. She was trying to say, like that woman was really here to admit herself, but she acts like she's just going to a regular doctor visit. And so anyway, I just kept getting kind of scared. So that's why I hurried up and went up there and grabbed my credit card. And then I turned around south and was about to run out the door. And who met me at the door was this freaking Jewish looking person. And it was somebody familiar to me that kind of looks similar to somebody that goes into the bookstore all the time. Because there's a couple people that goes in there. They're like older and they kind of look Jewish. And so the alien was trying to kind of copy that because he looked kind of familiar. And so he met me at the door. And it was a glass. It was like you could see through it. It was like a glass door. And he basically grabbed my wrist. And he's like, you want to be strapped down, don't you? Because, and I got like really scared and I like darted out of the, I made him like, I yanked my arm away and darted out of the door. But he's like, you want to be strapped down, don't you? And, because I knew at that point they were going to inject me with all these like medicines and shit, psychology medicines and stuff. And, so basically, and like I say, the aliens make you feel all of this, fear and shit too under these experiences. So then, I darted out of I forgot to put a little turtle in. I need to put a little turtle in here. I darted out the door, because I almost forgot this part. I darted out the door, and then I felt kind of relieved. Like I felt like He didn't tell me verbally, but I just knew this. Like, once I went out the door and I was free, I somehow knew, oh, okay, well, deep down inside, you know, he didn't really want me to stay if I truly did not want to stay. And he knew, you know, I didn't really want to stay, so that's why he wasn't going to come after me. But I still felt like that maybe they were going to, like, try to come after me. So that's why I hurried up, and I still tried to hurry. And then I ran up and down the parking lot trying to find my car. And there was, like, big SUVs sort of, like, blocking my car. And then I went down the other direction of a parking lot, but then I would turn back down the other direction of the parking lot. And like I say, the aliens made these SUVs kind of like make it hard for me to find my car. And then boom, and then I found my car. My car was right in between these 3 or 4, you know, SUVs or whatever. So I got into my car, and I did actually like go into my car, and then I started driving down the road, and I felt like it was down East Sunshine Street, which is kind of funny because I just went down that street several times a couple Fridays ago. It's funny, the aliens, they copy all this shit from your brain. And, okay, now here's the funny part, and I almost forgot it. Because, damn it, I even forgot to I need to put a turtle in here somewhere. This is the funny part. But anyway, like I say, I was, like, scared and shit throughout this whole, I mean, it felt so real. I mean, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels so real. Like, it feels so real. Like it felt so real. Like if you fucking went into a psych ward right now, you know, these motherfuckers are gonna give off the same fucking energy. You know, like, you know, we're gonna get you and poke you with all these fucking mental drugs and shit like that. It fucking feels the same. And I've never even been to a fucking psych ward. Okay, so here's the funny part. So as I was going down, as I was driving, and like I say, and here's the funny part. Like I say, this wasn't like an A+ experience. It was like, you know, B-. And here's the funny part. Even though I actually got into my car and I started driving down the street and stuff, you know, it was very, very, you know, artificial feeling. It wasn't like virtual reality, so to speak. Okay, so, sometimes the aliens are lazy. Okay, so, so then, okay, here's the funny part. So then I was driving down the road, and I wasn't, going real fast. I mean, like, I don't know, 25, 30 miles an hour. And, I look up to my right at a billboard. This billboard had a turtle on it. And a beautiful, you know, turtle. Normal 3-toed, I mean, not normal 3-toed, but it had a normal turtle, a normal box turtle. And of course it was big because it was on a billboard. And this is the funny part. It was like black and white strudel. Like it was a total full-fledged box turtle, except it was strudel. Because it was like an advertisement to go get like strudel ice cream. Or like, see, here's the deal. You know, the aliens, they don't get things quite right. They get things kind of jibber jabber or whatever. So because you know, like there is this place called Andy's Yogurt. I mean Andy's Custard. And you can get like a turtle sundae. But nowhere is there strudel in any of their ice creams or the stuff that they sell. Nowhere is there strudel. But in this, so that's kind of funny because I definitely did not have that word on the brain recently, strudel. I did not have that word on the brain. That's just something that the aliens came up with. Or took it from my brain from many, many years ago or whatever. So anyway, I looked up and I immediately knew that was a strudel turtle. And like I say, it was an advertisement I felt like it was an advertisement for strudel ice cream. Not like a strudel, bun or roll or whatever. I totally felt like it was like an advertisement for strudel ice cream. And like I say, it had all the swirl, like black and white and light brown swirl. The turtle was all of that, like black swirl, white, and brown. It was Strudel, like Strudel or whatever. And so that part was kind of hilarious. And you know what? I wonder. And actually, when I made up this template, I may have temporarily forgot about that piece. That's probably why I forgot the turtle, to put the turtle in there. Okay, so basically that was, and I'm sure there's a lot of little tiny pieces that I'm forgetting, because like I say, these were C- and B- experiences, but still definitely worth talking about, or at least the mental retardation, that one was definitely worth talking about. But like I say, it was just funny how the alien made me feel like once I got out the door, I had all these thoughts like, you know, like, oh, you know, they're really not going to come after me because you know, they really don't want you to stay if you really deep down don't want to stay. Well, I know where they got that information from. They got that information from Alcoholics Anonymous. Because you know how they don't try to force you to go. You got to want to go. But that's not what I felt like the whole time I was inside the facility. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's really weird that aliens, they just totally can resonate with you like to a T. Resonate with the other people, resonate with you. Like resonate with the whole scenario. The whole situation. But yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, I'm going to have to fix this template and put the Strudel turtle in here. So glad I didn't forget about that, because that was very significant, because the aliens somehow wanted me to have pet turtles, and now I have pet turtles, and but they stock me with turtles all the time, you know, in my scenario, and I'm sure they even years ago they probably put turtles in my scenario when I wasn't even paying attention, probably. I wish I remember. I mean, I know there's a couple things that they've done even before I got into turtles, where they were trying to get me into turtles, and I think I wasn't paying attention. But I can't remember the other situation. But one situation was the guard at work. You know, he brought me a small little snapping turtle. But at that time, you know, I was just like, what is this thing? I should have known it was a snapping turtle. I mean, I know it was a snapping turtle. I think I do have it on video. I have to go find it. But it was a small little snapping turtle. And I knew it needed water, so I knew I couldn't, like, keep it. So I put it back in the pond or whatever. But, see, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, that was like a sign, I guess I was supposed to have turtles, but I didn't pick up on it. And there's a couple other times, too. A couple other times where I didn't, pay attention or pick up on it, but then I finally did, and now I'm in love with turtles. I can't remember the other two offhand right now. But, like I say, they probably put some turtles in my scenarios even years ago. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, those were my experiences. Thanks for listening.